particular about? Like what?
I need my parting to be straight when my hairstyle is, and it's a thing between us. He's like, just take it out yourself. Because yeah, there are small things. I can be very particular about my eyebrows. Had this dream of हमारे घर में एक garden है और हम उस garden में बैठकर चाय पी रहे हैं. So I want to buy that घर जिसमें garden है. You know, where I felt like, okay, now I don't have to prove myself to people. I think they kind of know that I can act well. Love you guys, and to kind of fizz up this interview. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Lights are blinding. दो के पैर में ऐसा खोपचे. We did actually was
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So technically, this is my first front row with genuine audience in front of. It is, yeah. Thank you.
Well, what is your favorite failure? And I thought, because
yeah.
right?
Oh my God. I think I have to say my favorite failure, even though I don't like calling it a failure because for me it wasn't, is Rap. But I feel just that film in general, I feel like made me grow a lot as an actor. It was my third film in the Hindi film industry, and it was probably the first time that I was getting so much meat. You know? It had two characters for me. It was just very layered for the first time. Prepping a lot for a role for the very, very first time. I learned horse riding. I have phobia of being underwater, which actually I thought I got over it because I actually had underwater scenes. And for that period, I did get over it. So it's kind of come back. But I did get over it for that period, which was a big deal. I learned chocolate making, so many things. And just I feel like I grew with the way I started thinking about the character. It's saying my dialogues, you know, it became a lot more organic, a lot more real. There was so much learning on the set. And of course, that film just has a lot of memories for me, really happy memories that always will be very, very special. So in many, many ways, that film taught me a lot. I don't think I would have performed the way I did in, say, a Bareilly at the box office had I not gone through Rabta. You know, and I really feel like, I genuinely feel I really gained a lot as an actor, up as a human being. For me, when I came into the industry, I've lived in a very protected environment and I was very black and white. I didn't really understand कि अच्छा ऐसा opinion भी हो सकता है. अच्छा ऐसी लड़की भी हो सकती है जो बोले कि यार एक बार try करें क्या किसी और के साथ ये feeling आती है या नहीं आती है, which was bizarre for me. Talking to her parents in the mirror, you know, things like that. Someone who's gone through, someone who has baggage. I didn't understand that. So I think, yeah, that definitely has to be my favorite so-called failure. Sometimes your successes do, and whether it is the process of it, whether it is something that you feel like, okay, this doesn't work for me. I didn't enjoy this process. Yeah, even that you get to know when you realize that, okay, this wasn't a good decision. You're clearer in your mind then.
Yeah.
Post that. Better.
You know, okay.
Yeah, not very often. I mean, firstly, I don't think, you know, sometimes people, I don't know why they don't write so much comedy for women. Sometimes people feel like, oh, you know, for doing comedy, you need to kind of laugh at yourself. You need to kind of be comfortable, not looking good, making faces and stuff like that. And I think the idea has been for a while that, oh, women should look elegant and everything. And I think I mean, a lot of people have broken it in the past, and I am glad that I got an opportunity like that because I love comedy. Comedy is something which I just like putting in every normal scene also because it's there in life. That particular part is actually my favorite also, I would say. As an actor, when I was playing Sif, she's so correct and the way she walks is really perfect. Even if she opens a door, she will open it in a rhythm. She's almost in a rhythm. Her turns are not jerky. There's nothing. She's like this. She doesn't have highs and lows and everything. So as an actor, I had Shah, who's a fabulous actor, feel like flowing. You know, you feel like if the other person does an improv, you feel like doing something and returning dialogue or doing something. And I couldn't. I felt so tired. And, you know, he got annoyed because I used to say it constantly. I was like, oh my God, you know, I wish I could do more. You're getting to do so much. And he was like, I can't believe you're playing the robot in this film, and you're saying no, you're not getting to do much. But I felt almost weirdly suffocated in her body because I couldn't, like, when I'm talking to you, I'm moving my hand so much, I couldn't move it. Those were things that I applied. Like when Sifra spoke to someone, she would gaze and she would not break her gaze, as opposed to human beings who are like looking around and sort of thinking and processing. She's processing really fast while I was talking. So few things that I added only made me feel like really tied down and suffocated almost. And when the climax came, I was like, I felt like a khulla sand. Just do whatever she wanted. It could be there, nobody will question why I am malfunctioning. That's it. I can do what the hell I want. And on the script actually they had written it in a, she talks fast and she talks slow. But that was it. The twitches and the body and yeah, I mean, we discussed, obviously I discussed with the directors, but my idea was that if she's malfunctioning, let's go all out. Let's just like go all out and everything that can go wrong. And we added these body twitches randomly. And, her getting stuck also was a thing that we sort of added, and it became much fuller. And it just felt liberating. I remember when I was shooting the climax sequence, I was like, now I'm feeling like I'm shooting a film. Like now I'm really feeling like fully alive, weirdly alive. Dhak portion was my favorite because I've been a die-hard Madhuri fan. I was like, oh God, this is my moment. I was like, and Jaisalmer mein the hum log, thand thi wahan par, but because us gaane mein storm fan chal raha hai, so I was like, her hair are flying, my hair has to fly. I'm assuming all the other actors on set, all the background people who were there, all the extras, they must be really abusing me because I have put full-on storm fan for hours when I was shooting that in this much of lehenga choli, and I had a blast. I did have a blast. That was my moment. I was like, मैं बचपन में देखती थी to get to do that on screen.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Actually changed. You said there's the one scene where, and you said that, and that's
no. I think just the fact, see, actually, I've not been a trained actor. I've not like done theater or anything before. Everything that I know has been on the job. My process and what works for me, what doesn't work for me on the job. And sometimes I tried things and it happened, and sometimes I tried things it didn't happen. So I've always been very open to trying new things. But many times I had tried sort of, I just had a fight, say, in the vanity van with someone on the phone, came back on set, and I've cried on in the vanity, and I've come back on set. Now there's a crying scene. I've tried to get that back. It didn't. That particular day, I again sort of gave it a shot, and I was psyching myself with certain memories, emotional memories, which kind of always used to really hit me hard. And when I went till the set, it went away. I realized that when I screamed, it came up. So, sometimes you gotta also play a little bit with your subconscious, which, sometimes you think about and you think it's not working. When I screamed, it came up. So that day I kind of realized that, okay, mere saath bhi ye ho sakta hai. Hear of, actors just being on set and crying and not stopping after. I was like, I can't be that. It just opened me up to the possibility of anything can happen. So never stop trying and never, sort of bind your process and say, yehi hota hai mere saath, ya main aise hi kaam karti hu. Always keep trying something new because sometimes magic happens.
Will you kind of...
It depends. I have this one thing which I always like doing, that if the character does have a certain body language, I walk from the vanity to the set, I get in that body language. They feel like I'm getting into the character. But it depends. Certain characters require more prep emotionally. In that also, there are certain scenes that are like just emotionally heavy, and you need to find how you're going to get to that scene. So, and you can also get repetitive when it comes to crying scenes, because you can also start crying the same way and then somehow become mechanical. So you have to find what can you see in yourself, that you see in the character. Like if the character has a damage or a trauma, maybe go back to what makes you feel that way or how do you relate to the character? What is the similarity? There always will be some similarity. But other than that, I think just finding the body language, finding where the character is coming from, sometimes cooking up a backstory that only you know, nobody ever will know. Those things sometimes help. So I think my process kind of is a little vague, but I try and just go through the script too many times to find things in it that can help me. In Teri Baaton Mein, I remember I read the script so many times, and there was this one portion where she, Dimple ma'am says, Shahid says, "Ye upset क्यों लग रही है?" So she says, "क्योंकि तुम upset हो." And it kind of, that one line made me feel, oh, is she mirroring the admin's feelings? That, okay, if the admin is happy, so she's happy. If he's sad, so she's sad. So after that, I started actually mirroring what Shahid would be feeling. If he is happy in a scene, I would smile. You know, if he's a little upset, I would go like, oh, what happened? You know, like that. You know, some process. And because she's a robot who's a humanoid, like how to understand her. So that gave me one insight about her. And you keep reading the script also, it kind of gives you a lot.
Can do like this.
After 5-6 takes even, I tend to get mechanical. My best takes are between like first 3-4, usually. Unless and until the director has a completely different, you know, view for that. And, you know, someone changes something and says, "Acha, abhi aise karke dekho." That's still fine. But if you're doing the same thing, sometimes it gets exhausting, especially like all the emotional scenes, I always prefer that they take the close-up, because the magic that you get in the first few takes doesn't happen when you've cried 5-6 times, you know. So yeah, for me also, like, there are so many times I've worked with certain actors who need time to warm up. So actually for them, the 10th take is nicer. Then I've been blessed with intelligent directors who have been like, iska pehle lete hain OS, phir udhar aayenge. So usually that works for me.
Okay. Okay, so that was
2 cooks and 1 chef.
Okay, really strange.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. See, I think obviously, I mean, I don't know which film you're talking about. Whichever it is, those are too many. But otherwise, I feel like I've seen when you have a film where you need to make a certain kind of a body, particular role, you know, and then obviously from the actor, a lot of effort goes into achieving that. But yeah, of course, those are too many. So you have to understand what is needed and what is luxury, you know? And I think the producers have to take a call there. I mean, I can't really say that, because I feel, yes, hair, makeup, costume be important. Yeah. Those people also end up having their assistants because of the kind of work there is. Yeah, apart from that, I feel like a trainer or a certain nutritionist or whatever, depending on the role. In my case, there have been many situations where my body is of no concern to the producer or the director. So if I'm training and I'm taking a trainer, I pay myself. You have to kind of balance what is needed for the film and what is not. It can't be unnecessary spending. But I don't know what you call nakhras, yeah. I think, I mean, thoda bahut, I can also sometimes have my days where I'm PMSing, or I can have some days when I'm like really particular about something. I need my parting to be straight when my hairstylist, and it's a thing between us. He's like, just take it out yourself. Yeah, they're small things. I can be very particular about my eyebrows. So those are very small things. But yes, when I'm shooting, when I'm on set, once I start rolling, I don't like touch up. I'm like, mat karo. Jab tak kuch bahut hi kharab nahi lag raha hai, don't come and touch me up, because I don't really then believe in, okay, how am I looking? Is this looking nice or not? I think then I'm more concerned about the performance and the feel of the character. Sometimes when we're discussing scenes and all, I am a strong-minded person, and I do have a point of view on most things. So those can be my tantas and my nakhras, maybe.
About 7?
Not much. Yeah. Very similar also happened. Obviously, I don't want to go into the detail because it's not my place to say. But I do still feel like when there is a film on women, people are still scared to put in the amount of money that they would have for the same story had it been. And for example, this film is not like a serious film. It's a comedy film. It's an entertaining, massy film, you know. So sometimes I think we've discussed this in other interviews also, how I feel that the same films don't get the kind of scale people are sort of apprehensive, scared to these films going to get the money back or not. Are they going to pull in the same amount of audience or not? And when you see the budget going in, male-centric film, difference is huge. And the difference in payment also, right now, currently also is huge, for actually no reason. Sometimes no reason. You just feel like it's not like that person has given a hit in the last so many years, but why is the gap 10 times? I mean, to ask who? Problem is that even the producers, what they say is the recovery. Like a lot of the recovery actually happens with the digital satellite deals, which sort of happen before the film actually releases, before it kind of takes off. So to get that kind of budget for digital and satellite, because on digital and satellite, certain male-centric films actually do very well as compared to a film on a girl. So I think it is that difference. I'm hoping that it eventually changes. I'm hoping that people put in that much money in the film, whether it is, a crew that's made money. It's on 3 women. When I went to the theater, for me to see it Housefull, like till the second row, I was like, wow, it made my day. This is a good change. This means it doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl in the film. It's the story and what the film says or how entertaining it's seeming is what pulls the audience. So once that starts happening, I'm hoping this balance kind of gets somewhere in place.
Yeah.
I'm a learning producer, right? Genuinely, I feel like I have turned a producer and I'm going to try and get more films that I would love to make, to also produce them. What stories that I feel should be made, be more involved creatively other than just being an actor on set. Hopefully tomorrow also produce films where I'm not the actor at all. But it is a learning thing for me. I like being a newcomer in some field once in a while. I feel, I like that I have learned everything as an actor on the job. And now it felt like I wanted to shift the gear and I wanted to also learn other aspects of it. So obviously, Dopati is my first. But there's a long way. I need to learn a lot. Yes. But yeah. So I believe the budget can only be handled by one production. You can't like have 2 people getting into the same thing. So I'm co-producing this with Katha, which is Kanika, because obviously in this film, I'm also the actor and it's one of my most challenging parts. So for me to be physically managing all of that was absolutely impossible. Kanika is the one who kind of, the budget show is what she ran. I was very much creatively involved in every other aspect. So I enjoyed the whole creative side without having the stress of the budget. But yes, if anything would happen or something, we would sort of discuss and figure a way out. I also sort of ended up shooting for 17, 18 hours sometimes because I was like, oh, no. We have to finish this day because we don't have this set anymore and stuff like that. So the producer side of me woke up at times where I realized that, my God, how much stress would producers be having when as an actor, you're like, 12 hours is 12 hours usually. So those little things I did learn. There was a lot of learning on the job in general of, just the planning of it and just how complicated can things get. And sometimes, like we were supposed to shoot in Manali, slides in Manali, and that whole thing got like really, we had to cancel that whole thing and move somewhere else. It was nice to sort of see the other side of it. I've always been well behaved and all these things way better now. No, not at all. When you say that, it's gone. For hours, you're not Mashi. I'm not Sifra, I'm Kriti. Yes. Obviously, when I'm acting and I'm on set, I'm fully there. Of course, if it's a light scene going on and I receive a message, I would sort of respond to it. Of sometimes, they want to come and show me some packaging. They'll come in the sort of break or whatever. But I think when it comes from passion, you feel like it's work. Like I'm genuinely obsessed. In my free time while I'm traveling, I'm Googling ingredients. I'm Googling what is trending, what products are working, what people are like. I'm replying to certain DMs and stuff on Hyphen's side because I'm also the chief customer officer. So I'm also interacting with S of Hyphen. Absolutely. Because I feel like I sometimes take random videos and I put up on my Instagram asking them what do they want. The idea is to make products that people are looking for, that people feel like are not there in the market or that they would want to have. So yeah, I keep having these interactions on and off. when I go back home after a day of work, my team at Hyphen always receives messages between 11 to 1. Always they're like, I don't know why, raat ko hamara phone bajna chalu ho jata hai. I'm done with my shoot, and that's when I start responding to everything. Ingredient that I feel we can Hyphen somewhere, or if they send me testers, so I'm sort of in my night, I'm sort of trying all the testers and seeing what is working, what is not. So they get series of messages. So yeah, I think I love doing it, which is why it doesn't feel hectic. Sometimes shooting somewhere else and I get the sample sent to me, wherever I am, try it on me, and I test all the products on me. I was always very clear that I don't want to just start a brand for the sake of starting a brand. I wanted to start a brand that I would use. It's not like I'm saying, hey, let's buy Hyphen and I'm sort of buying some foreign products. That's not the point. And also, we wanted to make it affordable. So that was also something that I wanted to do. Coming from a simple middle-class family, I understand that you don't want to spend so much in your pocket on skincare. Even though you want the skincare, but you feel like this is unreasonable. That I always wanted to do, usually. And suddenly they're like, oh, she's up very early. Yeah.
Acting.
I mean, it depends on the character. Like, there are times when, for a character like Sifra, you might need the beauty because she is a perfectly made humanoid. For that, it is, if someone would be making a perfect girl or whatever we would call it, would be. That was the idea. So maybe a character like that might need something. Is someone who's really beautiful, or the guy is so hot that she's falling for him because of that. Those are things written in the script. Also times when you have to sort of, whether it is something like putting on 15 kilos or whatever, that's also for the film. So that time it can't be about beauty. It's more about the character. If the character is written beautiful or a certain way, then maybe. But other than that, it has nothing to do with beauty. You know what happened with me on that? I said fresh voices, I meant writers. I started getting singers, literally. Then I had to delete that post and I had to change the caption and put it again. Yeah. So, see, this is actually something that me and my sister and another friend of mine, we were just talking. And it's like we're constantly looking for scripts and they're not much great content, at least I've come across, in the last 1 year. And it's tough. It's tough to find great content. For me, I feel like coming from outside the industry, I also feel to actually have the good stuff, and it's probably just they're not there. They don't know how to reach out. They don't have access. Yeah. So we just wanted to just put it out. We have an email account. I do have some people who are sort of reading and scanning those things constantly being made on those scripts. If any script is of interest, then it's marked and sort of put aside. So I sort of go through the stuff which is like already filtered and people have liked it. I just feel it's a nice way of just giving access, like you said. People who probably might be way more talented but just don't know how to go about it. In minds and right.
You were being asked about.
I don't know. Does the guy have to match up to? I don't know. I don't think. I think we put too much pressure to on. I want this. What you want and what you need might also be different. I feel like I want someone who's like this and who's like that. But what I might need actually might just be like simplistic things, just real, who can make me laugh, who I have a connect with, who I can talk for hours, who respects me and my work. I think those things are also way more important. So yeah, I don't think someone needs to match up to me. Hold his own. Yeah. That is more important. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, then obviously it doesn't work. Yeah. Obviously not. I feel like you need to. That's why you need to be secure in yourself first. Hold your own, not match up to me. I love how she said actors like to say.
But the truth is, and it's or somebody else.
See, obviously, we all are humans. So to feel envy is very normal. When you want some film, and you feel like you could have done it so well, and it goes to someone else, of course you feel like, I wish I had done it. But there are only so many actors, to be very honest, right now. There are many films that are being made. So you have to find your own opportunity. I kind of feel like every film also has its own destiny. And at this point, I think there was a point where it used to bother me a lot more. I was a little more restless. And maybe I was looking for a lot more validation because I don't come from a film background. So for me to get that validation as an actor also was just a process. And I was always hungry to be known as a good actor. I think once Mimi happened, you know, that sense of validation kind of happened on its own. Be it the National Award, somewhere there was a sense of calm, you know, where I felt like, okay, now I don't have to prove myself to people. I think they kind of know that I can act well. What the idea is now, how do I take myself forward? Where do I go from here? What else can I do? How do I surprise myself and not be like, okay, ye to dekha hua hai. As you grow, your goal becomes different. For me right now, I'm in a slightly secure, calm space, I would say, where I'm not running after what next, you know. Actually, after years, currently, there is no film that I've signed. Yeah, because for me, I don't want to sign something till I love it. Somebody, actually, a friend of mine was, yesterday when I was talking to him, Mukesh, he said, yeah, I know, I can sense that for you now, liking a script, it's loving it. So, tera like se love ho gaya hai, you know, and that transition has happened now, and I can sense it in your voice because I was just not loving anything, and that's why I was like, no, I don't want to do something that my heart is not fully there. Honestly, in my career, it's not like I haven't done that before. I have. You have voices telling you that you should do a certain kind of a film because it's a big film, and everyone needs to balance it out. There has to be one Mimi, but there has to be some, you know, one big project, and it's okay if you don't have so much of a role. Stuff like that. Okay, maybe, you know, everyone does it. Maybe I should. And then you kind of realize that maybe that's not your path. You know, maybe that doesn't work for you. So I feel like right now there's a sense of like, I don't want to do something that doesn't excite me. Yeah, I want to be, just to be seen. I've been seen quite a lot, guys, in the last 2 years. I've had like four releases in the last 2 years. This year itself, I've had 2 releases. So I'm not in a hurry. Wanting to get something that feels like, okay, this is kick-ass and I really want to do this. Or now, how do I take my journey forward? It takes me forward. I think you need to grow. With every film, you can't, otherwise you become monotonous. You're not excited as an actor because you're sleepwalking. You know, so I feel that excitement is what I'm looking for right now. I don't know what your question was. I have turned it into something.
You're not carrying the load. I'm saying,
I know.
That's the right?
Yeah, I feel like when you understand your own value, come from a certain sense of validation and success. Of course, when you're feeling like, you know, things are not working or your films are not working, there's a sense of like, no, I need a hit the film to work in the theaters. So that time your mind is somewhere else. You're doing films for a different reason, or you're signing stuff for maybe the wrong reason. So yeah, I think fortunately this year has started well. Where can I touch wood? Yeah. Fortunately, this year has started well, and maybe that also has given a sense of calm where I'm like, okay, fine, you know, I've worked in the box office. I'm very happy and I'm very like glad and blessed. But now I think I can sort of sit at home, maybe find that film that excites me to go further. It's a combination of everything, you know, whether it's success, whether it's just validation in general as an actor. Actors are hungry for validation. Yeah. And right now I feel like I'm hungry for something that challenges me, and, you know, I feel like I don't know how to do this, you know, and I like, you feel almost scared to do it. That's when it's like really exciting. Yeah.
Well, listen.
I hope so too. Yeah. Now that the audience has loved the film and loved her so much, I'm sure she will.
If you could please.
Hello.
Hi, Kriti.
Thank you.
That
added fizz to it. I think I have to say the National Award was the biggest moment for me. Added more than fizz. It was something that, you know, I'm sure like every actor dreams. Like for me, it was something that I had written in my diary of dreams 2 years before it happened. I couldn't believe that it actually happened. It was probably the only moment where when it got announced, I had happy tears in my eyes. I've never had that. I feel like I've not felt so emotional and so happy that I almost was crying. And just to take my parents in Vigyan Bhavan and to see them, you know, see me receive the award was like a huge moment. Added all the fizz. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, what? Yeah, what depends on what kind of screenplay. Are you a writer? Oh, wow, that would be interesting, of course. There's so much happening around. I don't think I've felt like this is rubbish. I felt like, this could be okay. I'm not sure. And when the person narrated the entire thing, the vision was much bigger than what I saw in the synopsis. It happens sometimes, but the idea first needs to sort of strike something in you. Sure.
Thank
you. Suraj. All right. This one, please give it to the...
I became a big fan of you.
Thank you so much.
If
That's
you
a very big
compare...
question. But one thing that I would just say about this journey is that I feel there are very few people who find their passion, who recognize their passion. बहुत लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो जिनको लाइफ में पता ही नहीं चलता है कि उन्हें क्या करना अच्छा लगता है. I'm really fortunate that I found my passion in acting because I was in that college doing BTech, a very, very studious kid who would just love to dance, and that's about it. And this sort of happened in my life in a way where I'm just so fortunate and glad that it did. Because I today feel like I was really, really meant to be here. I do. I do believe in destiny plus hard work. Because khali kismat pe chhod denge to kuch nahi hoga. Like I used to tell my mom that, bachpan mein I didn't try so many things. You become so rigid in your ways. You become a little scared. Your mind always tells you कि नहीं ये करने की जरूरत नहीं है, ये क्यों ट्राई करना है, मत करो ट्राई. पर मुझे आज लगता है कि बचपन में ना सब कुछ ट्राई करके देखना चाहिए, चाहे वो एक्टिंग हो, चाहे वो हॉर्स राइडिंग है, चाहे वो कुकिंग है, चाहे वो पॉटरी है, कुछ भी. आई थिंक टिल यू ट्राई समथिंग यू डोंट रियली नो व्हाट यू लव डूइंग. यू गॉट टू फाइंड इट. So I think I'm really glad that somehow acting also found me in a way. It just happened to me also. And of course, I recognized the opportunity and I followed that part. I followed my dreams. I had parents who were supportive. Not everyone also gets that support. So I was fortunate in many ways. But आज मैं देखती हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि I was meant to be here. There's nothing else that I could have done probably.
Hi, Kriti.
Hi.
I would really...
You can stand up if you want. Oh, okay.
Okay. Puran, you styled so well in each and every movie. I really love your clothes. The way you style all of your airport looks. Apart from, is there something that you still
aspire to achieve? I think firstly, one non-materialistic thing I would say, I always feel like I want to leave some sort of a legacy behind eventually, where even when I'm not in this world, people do remember me from my work. Deal. When young girls sort of look up to you and they feel like if you could do it, so can they. I think that is a huge deal. So I hope I do that in my life. And materialistic, I would just say, my mother has always had this dream of हमारे घर में एक गार्डन है और हम उस गार्डन में बैठकर चाय पी रहे हैं. Buy that घर जिसमें गार्डन है और जिसमें वो बैठकर चाय पी रही हैं. That is one of the things that's also there in my dream diary. It's just 10 years. 10 years में legacy नहीं बनती है. Okay, Kriti. No, don't do this to me. They'll all hate me.
We haven't had okay.
How sweet. How are you? Nice to meet you. Can I open it?
Achha, now everyone's got two hands up.
Come on, Kriti, take. I'm not doing this.
Hi everyone. और इतना
How sweet. Thank you.
तो मोस्ट चैलेंज लेंगे बट बाकी
I think वो फिल्म आई नहीं है दो पत्ती. Honestly, मैं बता नहीं सकती क्यों, लेकिन जब आप फिल्म देखेंगे तो आपको ये रियलाइज होगा. हाँ, बट काजोल मैम चैलेंजिंग नहीं थी. She was really warm and she's always very lovely. Any scene actually helps the scene. But that film in itself, what it deals with and the kind of character that I'm playing was extremely challenging for me. And I'm actually very excited for you guys to see that. उसका एक छोटा सा teaser already out है, but the film is much larger than that.
वन मोर आपने
I think I like acting more. So acting के अलावा producing is still something that I can do side by side and still act. direction mein ghus jao. Directors actually, I think their life is, I mean, there's too much pressure on a director firstly. And I think directors are married to one film for, you know, way
Yes.
longer. I think we, as actors, we end up, you know, moving from one film to the other. Director doesn't end up moving from the film till it actually releases. So, no plans of directing as of now at all.
Guys,